Welcome to Sports Talk with Steve Jones, the daily talk show with the voice of Penn State football and men's basketball. You never know what special guest may stop on by any given day. Now here's the man of the hour, Mr. Steve Jones.
Great to be with you on this Monday. I'll be here all week.
It's a Monday.
All right? Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
So here it is, Monday, December 1st. And Penn State did something that in the last 11, 12 seasons has only been done 9% of the time.
I believe the return from 3 to 6.
From 3 and 6 to getting to 6 and 6 only happened 9% of the time. It tells you a lot about the job Terry Smith has done. It tells you a lot about the job that the staff has done. It tells you a lot about the makeup and the pride of the players on the team. And there will be the usual teeth gnashing by the usual 120 to 150 people that make comments. Last I checked, there were 110,000 people in the stadium. That don't seem to grasp at all the concept of sports. Mm-hmm. I have said many times, many times, there are multiple ways to win.
There are.
I've said it over and over again. Did the defense play well? No. They did not. Did I say going into the game that Rutgers had a really good offense? Yes. In fact, you watch the first half of the Iowa game, they carved Iowa up left and right, and that's a good Iowa defense.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good Iowa defense. And they carved them up left and right in the first half. Then the second half, Iowa kind of got a handle on what was going on. So, no, it's not a great defensive performance. Yet, in this not-so-great defensive performance, they come up with a fake field goal stop. They come up with, at the pivotal part of the game, the takeaway scoop and score, where they finally got a bounce, which they have not had all year. They have not had this kind of bounce all year. Because Uriah Fisher is laying on the ground. And he's going to go after the ball. If he recovers it, it's not a touchdown.
But then the ball bounces.
The ball went right to Amari Campbell, took it back, touchdown. And then Zion Tracy, and it's weird, but I kept thinking when they went shotgun, I'm watching this, they go shotgun, I thought, and the way they lined up, I thought, my God, they're going to have him keep it. So if you notice, I don't sound surprised that he kept it because I watched the alignment. You watch enough video, you sit there and you kind of get an idea. And the way they lined up, that's the way they line up when he keeps the ball. Okay. And Zion Tracy got him.
At the same time, right? I believe Nidina Sutton threw Raymond to the ground, and I thought Raymond was thrown 1,000 yards into the ground.
He was, and Raymond got crushed on the play. But at the pivotal times in the game, the Patel play where Zion Tracy makes the play, I think it was with Dominic DeLuca, right? It could have been Amari Campbell. But they make the play, no points. The fourth down play, no points. The takeaway, 7 points.
And that was the difference.
Right? Fourth down, the last two games, teams are 1 for 8 against Penn State in fourth down. And the one that Nebraska got was at garbage time. Okay?
It's pretty good.
That's it. Right? But again, not a great defensive performance. I get it. I totally get it. Offensively, they could do whatever they want, whenever they wanted.
22 carries, 226 yards, and 1 touchdown for Katron Allen is just absurd.
But it wasn't just that.
I know.
It was
everybody.
Singleton. It was Rapplier. It was, Hudson making a catch on the sideline. It was paying. They could do anything they wanted. Ethan Grunkemeyer went 11-12 against Nebraska. In this game, goes 17-21. Oh, and by the way, hit 11 of his last 12.
He threw really well.
Right? He's been throwing well for weeks now. Okay? And the offensive line, again, we go back. We try to give people scouting reports going into games. I don't deal with personalities. I don't deal with the hot takes. I don't deal with personalities. You want to know what I think going into the game, what a scouting report is? I'll tell you what the scouting report is. Because guess what? The whole thing's about the damn game. Okay? It's not about the personalities. Okay? Oh, I don't know. What do you think Lane's going to do? I don't care what Lane's going to do. He made his choice. We'll get to that and get to that in a minute. Okay? Right? To me, it's all about the game. It's all about the game, right? We told you that Rutgers, you could run the football on them and that play action would kill them. Said that going in. Said offensively, quarterback, really, really good. Running back, really, really good. And which wide receiver did I pick out that I thought was outstanding?
Duff, who made an otherworldly catch.
That's what you try to do in the show.
Yeah.
Can you educate people by the time? But this genre has become hard to listen for me to listen to, right? Because everybody talks. Does anybody want to talk about the games? Like that's what it's all about. No games, no shows. So you talk about the game, what a team can and can't do. We told you going into the game what Rutgers could do, what they couldn't do, and how Penn State matched up with them.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what you try to do. Same thing with Nebraska. I said, look, I watched Latif. He was 15 of 18. Everything was point A, point B, very short, very safe. I said, he can't get away with that against Penn State.
Yeah.
Right? And that teams could run the ball on Nebraska. And that their pass defense numbers were in part because of the running numbers they give up, because people don't need to throw the ball against them.
Yeah.
Okay.
You mentioned the Penn State offensive line.
Those guys have played great, and the tight ends have played a big role. Right? I think that you watch. Hudson's a really good blocker as a wide receiver. Ross, it's not really his strong suit. Pena, I don't know if it's a badge of honor if he got called for a blindside block or not. All right. See, I tried to throw a block. But the tight ends, Rapplier is really good. See, I heard somebody say, well, Rapplier is finally coming around. Yeah, we're 15 months removed from a torn ACL.
Yeah, I was going to say he was out last year.
Guess what? As time goes, you round back into form. Well, this month is about the month you would expect that he would, when you're that far removed from it, you're finally back to where you were before.
He also wasn't
that's why there's no common sense as to how people talk about individuals. There's no common sense.
He also wasn't being asked to be the number one tight end immediately because, spoiler, Cleo Dinkins and Luke Reynolds are really, really good. Well, and so all of a sudden, Rapp doesn't have the pressure of being like, I have to come back and be number one. Like, he's great, and so are these two, so he could commit.
All you got to do is just be one of the three guys.
That's what
he's been the important guy here down the stretch. He makes the 53-yard touchdown reception. He makes the reception to put the game away. He blocks really well. Right? He blocks really well. And believe me, if you know Rapp at all, there's a little bit of swagger to how Rapp goes through life and plays the game, and it's enjoyable. It's enjoyable. It is no surprise to me that Singleton has thrived with Allen doing what he's doing.
I wanted to point out Nick Singleton.
I don't care. There's been a lot of criticism leveled at Andy Koltanecki, which obviously it gets back to me. People tell me that. Okay. The last two games, right? Even the last, let's just go back, even going back even to Indiana, the last four games, he is called brilliant. He has called the game brilliantly. Rutgers, outstanding. Nebraska, tremendous. I thought he called a heck of a game against Michigan State. I thought he called a great game against Indiana. He has done a great job of being introspective, and said, okay, what can my personnel do? And did I, and looking back, did I make mistakes earlier in the season? Mm-hmm. That takes a lot to sit there and take a look at yourself and say, okay, what mistakes did I make? How can I change it? How can I take advantage of what I have right now? Mm-hmm. Okay, you've got to give the guy credit. If you want to criticize him, I always love but just settle down, sport. Okay, I mean, I was, but okay, it means at that point my conversation with you in terms of the ability to listen to you is over. I understand what you're saying. I'm telling you, he came to that conclusion. Mm-hmm. He did. Okay. He didn't sit there and go, I did everything right early in the season. It just, they didn't do it. He didn't do that. He took a long look at it and said, okay, what didn't we do right early in the season? What can we do right now? Mm-hmm. All right? It takes a lot to do that. Andy's done that. Mm-hmm. Okay? And the Katron Allen part meshes beautifully his style with how this offensive line blocks. And Penn State, and I will say this, I'll go back to the end of after the Iowa game. Mm-hmm. Jack Ham and I were talking. He says, what do you think? Because Katron ran the ball a lot in that game too. Mm-hmm. And I said, Jack, when you played with the Steelers and you played the Raiders, what made them different? He said, what made them different than everybody else was that because of Gene Upshaw and Art Shell, 2 Hall of Famers. Mm-hmm. I said, but where were they? They were on the left side. And it's the one time as a Steelers team, you guys had to play a left-handed team. He says, that's right. I said, you look where Penn State's strength is. I said, there's a lot of strength on that left side. I said, Penn State needs to think about being a left-handed team.
Drew Shelton, Vega Ioane.
Right. But then you pull out Dawkins. Where's Dawkins pulling? Left side. Then you pull Donko, left side. Rutges played the last 2 games. Rutges has played outstanding football, and some of that's just been protecting. Some of that's been his one-on-one wins, but some of that's been his ability to pull, also get over there on that left side. I mean, Penn State's done a lot of good stuff on the left side because they become more of a left-handed team here down the stretch, which, again, you go through film study, you watch practices, things like that, you say to yourself, I see something there. That's why I said to Jack what I said to him at the end of October. Mm-hmm. And Allen is just, he runs with an attitude. He had an off season, Kyle, where for the first off season he had, first time, no injuries. Mm-hmm. He didn't have to miss any winter workouts. Mm-hmm. He didn't have to miss any spring practices. He didn't have to miss any of the OTAs. Mm-hmm. He didn't miss a single practice of the preseason. He dropped down about 7 to 11 pounds. So it varies as the season goes. 7 to 11 pounds. So he's a half step quicker. Mm-hmm. But he's had a year where he has not had to miss any time. He has missed literally no practices.
He's healthy.
Hasn't been sick. None of that. Right? And it's made a difference. He is running, and the bottom line is because of usage. Mm-hmm. And you see he's been heavily used down the stretch here.
But for 3 years.
But for 3.5 years, he was splitting carries with Nick Singleton. And because they were splitting carries, they both have their legs.
There's tread on each tire, and they're all ready to go.
Right? And Singleton's now breaking plays.
I wanted to bring him up. His returns were big to set up this Penn State offense. And also it felt like for him, where he had a few where he was, a shoelace away from breaking it. Yeah. And you could just see the confidence building as the game went. And he ran the ball well. He had another 53-yard run.
It started with the Indiana game. Mm-hmm. Right? He finally broke free in the Indiana game. And it just kept on going. Michigan State, Nebraska, now you're seeing this. The kickoff return part, kickoff returns, punt returns, the best. I think Devin Hester is probably the best I ever saw at it. That's why he's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. But the best ones I've seen in my lifetime have been the ones that have a feel for it. It is not just catch the ball, run as fast as you can. Okay? You're in charge of bringing the salad to the tailgate. Don't talk. Okay? All right?
In my head, I picture, like if I picture a punt return, I picture Darren Sproles. That's who I think of. Because Darren Sproles would catch it and then take a step back, look at everyone, and then just go. He would find where the path is, and he would take it.
Jack and I talked to Derek Williams about this. And again, neither one of us are going to sit there. I mean, cripe, I was a big moment for me when I was catching punts in practice because it kept everybody from running. It's like, Steve, I'm like, oh, no. It's like everybody's looking at you. Stako Barkley's looking at you. Like, there you go. Oh, hey, yeah, all right, Steve, where do you go? It's like, okay, it's hard catching a punt. Okay? Derek Williams told us that what he did was, is that he would look to see the gunners. He'd glance at the gunners. Did they get a free release off the line of scrimmage? If they did, he won a fair catch. If they were crowded at the line of scrimmage and didn't get a free release, now he's more inclined to return. That's how he did it.
Which makes sense because they're the first ones to get downfield. They've got the best run at you.
Right. So, and then after that, you have to have that vision. Kickoffs are easier than punts to catch. But everybody just thinks, okay, go as fast as you can. No, you have to get up there. Where is it? Because first of all, you have a scheme to start with. Okay?
What side are they kicking to? Are they kicking to the right? All of a sudden you catch it.
But you have a scheme as to what they're doing. Right? Number one, right? You've got to judge. Okay. Maybe go back about a step, boom, and you're coming forward. Then, boom, and then accelerate when you see that hole open. You have to have a feel for it. Singleton has a feel for it. Larry Johnson had a great feel for it as a kickoff return guy. Singleton has that same kind of feel on a kickoff return, which is great. And again, it's one of those vague. That's why we talk about analytics, about people having feel for the game. People hate when I talk about that because they have no idea who do math what I'm talking about.
But in that case, you have to have a feel for where the ball, where the people are, where momentum is going.
You've got to know where the chess pieces are, and then see where the opening is, and that's when you hit the accelerator. And that's why Singleton's been so good at it over the years. I think King Mac's pretty good at it too. Putting them both back together is something that kept people from kicking to the other side. Remember the mistake Holsworth made. Holsworth, I don't want to ever see 34 back at a kickoff again. That's the blocking position.
Yeah.
Okay. Repeating once again, that's the blocking position for the critics.
Yeah.
But when he caught it like with 1 foot in and 1 foot out. And he didn't know if he was in or out. So that's why he came out, because he was in no man's land. Okay. That happens. I mean, Quentin Martin. Okay. The kickoff that, it was against Ohio State, I think it was. He backed up into the end zone and caught it. I'm coming out. No need to play hero ball here. You backed up. Well, the second you back up 2 yards into the end zone, take the ball to 25. That's a judgment thing. Okay. That's having a feel, not having a feel for it. He's never out there. No, he's out there in kickoff returns every week in practice. Okay. It wasn't like they threw him out there for the first time and it's like, all right. That's the feel for it. See, Singleton understands that. Okay. This is a no-go. That's, let's go. This is what we got to do. Somebody said, well, he's only got 20.7 yards. Yeah, he's also had 2 called back.
And he also hasn't had a lot to return because, as noticed against Rutgers, they just stopped kicking it to him. They just said, we're not going to.
Indiana.
Yeah, same thing.
Indiana, after he burned him, refused to kick to him. So that's why they made the move that they made against Rutgers. All right? One of those subtly, really good moves.
Yeah.
Who was, you get tight end in the 3 area. So you had tight end, and Trevor Pena. And you returned the one. Got it out over the 40-yard line. Because
smart plan, because they knew they're not going to kick it to Nick Singleton.
Hey,
but who's one of your best returners? That guy.
Right. Okay. This is one of those subtle things that was really smart. See, Justin Lustig has had a great year coaching special teams. Not a good year. He's had a great year.
Pena returned kicks from Syracuse. He returned a couple for the house, and he's also the punt returner. And we've seen incredible things from him. So it makes sense. You put him in that spot and let him excel.
So I think Grunkemeyer, the accuracy, the confidence. I mean, Ethan's got a little swagger to him as to how he plays. And you could see it in practice. I remember after Drew got hurt, I said, you know, they're going to go to Iowa. And I said, look, I really don't know how he's going to play. Right?
Yeah.
Again, you try to make fair statements. He's practiced fine, but how's he going to react in a game? I don't know. Well, now I've had a chance to watch him in 6 games, and every time I watch him, I get more impressed by what he's doing because, remember, he still is a little limited in one area, right? Ethan actually is a decent runner.
Yeah.
But they can't have him run.
Because if he gets hurt, what happens?
Yeah. That's the issue right now. Okay? Allen has been spectacular. Singleton has just had a great stretch run. They're playing the way they played at the end of last year. This is how they played at the end of last year. You look at the stretch run in November and the playoff run. So that 7-game stretch, this is about offensively the way they were playing. A lot of running football, a lot of, mixing in the play action pass. I mean, and of course, heavy use of Tyler Warren. They're really kind of playing about the same way they played in the stretch run last year when they won 6 consecutive games, starting with Washington, and then the Fiesta Bowl went over Boise State before that tough loss to Notre Dame in the Orange Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what they've been doing. And it is, look, and Barker, by the way, you can't put a price on what Barker's done. The consistency. And, Wosu kickoffs, punts, the job that Dzansky has done.
Yeah. Penn State's future for football, not discussing the coaching and stuff, the bowl game schedule. So we will find out next week. The bowl game.
Look, there are 3 options.
There's 3 options.
Let's be honest with everybody.
Game above Sports Bowl is Big Ten versus MAC.
That's Detroit. Okay,
Also,
I mean, the heck with the sponsorships. Okay, all right. Yeah. I mean, it's like Detroit.
Right? December 26th. You have Phoenix, December 26th. Be Big Ten versus Big 12.
Yeah, that's the game at Chase Field where the Diamondbacks play.
Yeah.
Ford Field in Detroit,
and then
Chase Field is where the Diamondbacks play. There's the Music City Bowl on the 30th, and of course Yankee Stadium.
Yankee Stadium on the 27th against either an ACC or an independent.
Without question, the toughest game to broadcast because
you're put in the Yankees box. They're one of the 2 broadcaster boxes, right?
Yeah, we were in the Yankees broadcast booth. I remember somebody said, "You got John Sterling's chair," and I looked at him. I go, yeah, it's also low to the field behind the uprights.
I was going to say, I have John Sterling's seat without John Sterling's view.
Yeah. All right, it's like, I mean, here's one for you. I'm not calling one down the left field line here. Right?
So one of those 4 bowl games is what is expected for Penn State. Right. We'll find out next week. Is that correct? We'll find out next Monday?
Sunday.
Okay, so we find out on
Sunday late. Okay. What will happen is this. Last year it was, of course, all the fun of what hosting a game, what your seed is, and so forth, what the bracket is. You find that stuff out early.
But this you find out at the end of the day after they
after they've done like 8 hours of analysis.
Because then we hear slowly, it could be this game or it could be that game, and then we'll find out at the end of the day. So we'll have it for next Monday, be able to discuss what bowl game Penn State is going to be in.
Before you and I fly to Indianapolis.
Before we fly to Indianapolis for Penn State basketball.
But we'll know Sunday night. Maybe late Sunday afternoon. But they have to take care of the college football playoff first, justifiably, because at that point, then things fall into place. And look, so the way the order goes is as follows. Letter of intent day is Wednesday.
Okay. So December 3rd.
right? And that runs through Friday.
December 3rd to December 5th.
Right.
Letter of intent day. So that's when high schoolers intend to sign.
The first Wednesday in February is the late signing period.
Okay.
Can players transfer now? The answer is no. They cannot transfer now.
They can enter the portal. They cannot transfer.
They cannot, can't do it until
January 1st.
Until seconds after midnight, January 2nd.
Okay, January 2nd.
And that runs through the 16th. That's going to be wild and a crazy period for everybody across the country. There'll be so much movement. Right now, of course, there's a lot of angst about who the head coach is going to be.
For this
completely understand. It's been 50 days, so it's been a little bit more than 7 weeks since James was relieved of his duties here at Penn State.
And it is amplified by other coaches signing other places. We'll discuss those coaches in a moment.
But that, just because they've signed other places doesn't mean Penn State was interested in them. It doesn't.
It's like, did Penn State,
I mean, the problem is, I think I said to Nate Bauer the other day, I said, must be fun just talking to the same 100 to 150 people every day. I said, there are 100,000 people in the stadium. Right? I said, they don't represent everybody. He goes, oh, God, no. Right? He says, it's interesting. But, I mean, they're also your subscribers, so you got to be, loyal to them and so forth. But I don't have to be loyal to them. Right? You just got to sit there and go, okay, there are no insiders. None.
No.
Okay. Right? And it's a one-man committee with help. I mean, Vinny James is helping him. There are other people helping him. I think Nick Hillel is helping. I wouldn't doubt Adam Miller is. Maybe Jeremy Scott. It's pretty much it. Have I talked to Pat about it? No. Have I talked to anybody else about it? No. Again, when you are the play-by-play guy, you do not. If they want to initiate the conversation with you. You talk, and then it's between, and even if Pat had come up to me and said, hey, let me run a couple things by you. What do you think about boom, 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 boom? Nobody here on the show would ever know that we talked.
No.
Okay? But I'm telling you, when we've talked, we actually talked about other things recently, not about this. It's up to him to initiate the conversation. All right? It's not, and he does not need his play-by-play guy speculating on shows as to what they might do. No, that's not how it goes. Okay? It's not the right thing to do. Right? There are many things that can play a role in all of this. Right?
Well, let's just, as a general thing, I don't think people understand that during a coaching search, you're not just talking to one coach. You're not talking to a million coaches. You're trying to find the people you want. And not every coach fits every location. So, I'm fairly confident Kent State wasn't like, let's go talk to Lane Kiffin. Right. And at the same time, Penn State may not have talked to Lane Kiffin. That's just how it works, is every coach is interviewed for every job. They interview for certain ones. So in this case, Lane Kiffin, of course, is at LSU. Maybe he did interview at other places. Of course, it was discussed of Florida. But my point is, we'll get to that stuff later, is every coach is looking at different locations. And they may only interview at 2 locations. They may interview at every place. So, Penn State fans, I've had a comment a lot in the past 2 days of, this has been bungled, this is waiting too long. I'm like, the calendar's messed up. We've discussed the transfer portal part of it. The coaching part is also tough because, Lane Kiffin leaving Ole Miss 11-1 going into the playoffs there's a lot to discuss there. Okay. But the general point is the fact that this is happening now is also part of the weird coaching cycle and the weird calendar of it all.
Number one, nobody knows who Pat's talked to.
Yeah.
Except for the tightest of inner circles. Nobody knows. Okay? That part, I do know some people he's talked to. Okay.
Not me. I can confirm.
Right. But but nobody knows. So you got people out there throwing darts, and they'll throw a dart, and they'll criticize the dart. You don't even know if that's a dart they threw. Right? It's like, it's all right.
Yeah.
Okay? They're not playing this week. Okay? We know about the recruiting part. I know what December 3rd is. I got it. Okay? I understand that part. Okay? Because to your point, the calendar's messed up. After that, okay? Now, he's got to make up his mind as to what he think is, okay, let's start with this. Let's go talk about something that we've talked about a lot in the last 2 years, and especially this past offseason. Alignment.
Yes.
Okay. The alignment, president, athletic director, head coach. Okay. I will give you 2 specific school examples.
Okay.
Where if you don't have the alignment from your president or chancellor, whatever the
top
position
official
is called at whatever school, everybody has a different. If you don't start with that, you got a problem in terms of like, and I mean problem in terms of like how good you're going to be in athletics. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. The 2 schools I'll bring up are Vanderbilt and Notre Dame. Okay, one of the really great players in the history of Kentucky basketball, Ron Mercer. Okay, Ron Mercer. Okay. Ended up being a first-round pick of the Boston Celtics, had a nice long NBA career, had a great career at Kentucky. But Kentucky isn't where he's going to go. You know where he's going to go? Vanderbilt. You want to know why he didn't get into Vanderbilt?
Why?
Because he didn't meet Vanderbilt standards. Okay? Not that he wasn't eligible. He was eligible at every other school in the SEC, including Kentucky. But he didn't meet Vanderbilt's standards. Okay, well, I admire standards. I mean, that's not an issue.
Sure.
But now they have somebody in charge at the top that still wants to have standards. But, hey, look, we've got to be a little bit, like, looser because, look, the front porch is pretty damn good. All right? So let's look at what Vanderbilt's done. Diego Pavia, people like that, they've been able to bring in, and they're right there in the discussion to be in the college football playoff. They just won at Tennessee. They just had their first 10-win season. And Vanderbilt basketball over the years has been pretty good.
They had Darius Garland, who was incredible, of course.
But I'm just using the Ron Mercer example so people understand. Like, you're all sitting there going, well, what do you mean Ron Mercer was going to go to? You didn't know that he was going to go to Vanderbilt. But like when you do this a long time, you know these things.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. He couldn't get in. Why? Because he didn't meet their standards. And Vanderbilt is a great academic institution. Okay. One of the issues they had at Notre Dame, and one of the reasons Brian Kelly left, is that they sat there and he could get a lot of people in, but he couldn't get as many people in. Right? And so he took the LSU job because he felt he was going to have more freedom to get what he needed in to have a great football team. And he did a good job at Notre Dame, but he also felt like there were times where he had his hands tied. Well, Marcus Freeman's been able to get a more wide-open commitment. And I talked to the Notre Dame people about this last year because Penn State played Notre Dame. So I got a chance to talk to some people, some old friends and so forth over time. And that they loosened up a lot to make sure that they could retain players, to make sure they could get players, right? And it's made a big difference for them. So back to alignment. You don't have to turn it into a free-for-all. You have to have standards. But I would also like to know in this world that we have right now, name the last person that has been ruled academically ineligible by somebody.
That's a good question. It's been a while.
When's the last time you heard of, we got a problem here, he's academically ineligible? Really?
Jason Lord.
Well, that's a permanent thing. Right? But you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So you have to have at least that alignment that, look, we have standards here at Penn State, but at the same time, we want to make sure that, okay, have confidence. In other words, have confidence in your academic staff that they can, like Morgan. If you want to sit there and brag about Morgan, it's justified. Morgan's done a great job. 93% of the athletes, new record, have graduated here from Penn State, right, in the last cycle. It's a record here. That's a credit to the athletes. It's a credit to their instructors. It's a credit to the Morgan Academic Center, right? And it's a credit to the coaches, like every day after practice, every day. I hear Mike Rhodes talk about taking care of your academics. Some of you are doing great. You're knocking out a part. You're killing. A couple of you, like, come on. We're here to help you. What do you? Okay, it doesn't matter how much money you're making. He said, look, you got to take care of your life here. Every day after practice, not just once in a while. Every day. James did the same thing. Joe did the same thing. Bill O'Brien did the same thing. Always, but in this era now, talking about academics, oh, they never talk about it. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Okay? Just bring the salad to the tailgate and just ask questions. Okay? So it's my suggestion. Just bring the salad to the tailgate, and if you have questions, we'll help you answer them. Right? Instead of making statements where you don't know what you're talking about. Right? Okay? And so the coaches are telling their athletes all the time, right? You got to take care of your academics. You got to make sure that's square. Right? So that matches up with the vision of the president, which then now has to match up with the vision of the athletic director, which then has to now match up, in this case, the vision of the football coach you're trying to hire. You have to have that kind of alignment. So you've got to be somebody as an athletic director and as president that you are absolutely comfortable with the person that you are hiring along the line. And that takes a little extra time. It takes a little extra time. I'm fine with that. Right? Okay? The one part that everybody wants to know, the mystery part is people don't know. There's no leaks. People don't know. And here's the other part. Because letter of intent day is Wednesday, you've got more people panicking about it. Now, the players want to know and the staff wants to know. Okay, they're the ones more greatly affected than anybody else, right? And are there certain players that I know that are going to probably stay? Yes. Are there certain players that just aren't sure what they're going to do? Yes. Are there certain coaches that aren't sure what they're going to do? Yes. There are actually a couple of coaches that have indicated they would really want to stay. Yeah. Okay. Not for me to say. These are private conversations. But they're the ones that, above all, need to know. But you also have to make the right move at the right time. Now let's get to the Lane Kiffin part because this comes into play here. Okay? Yes. Let's get to Lane Kiffin. Okay? He is not going to coach Ole Miss in the playoff.
It is Pete Golding's team.
Right? And I mentioned this last week, and I meant it. If he takes we knew Florida was out. The LSU job, I said right away, I said, if he takes the LSU job, he's not coaching Ole Miss. I don't care what the ESPN. How many people on ESPN did you hear this weekend saying he should coach the team in the playoff?
It was this whole thing where,
like, what are you doing?
He apparently on Saturday, the reason this took so long is he went to the chancellor and tried to quote unquote plead with them to let him coach the team. I am in agreement with Ole Miss. No, like, you are going to a in-division rival to coach. The difference between his situation and John Summerall's is Tulane trusts John Summerall, and they understand this Tulane team, like, it's a special season for them, and he wants to coach them, and they're like, yes, and also, we're not scared by the whole you going to Florida thing because we're not divisional rivals. Like, Tulane and Florida are not competing in the same division. Ole Miss doesn't want to see another SEC team win. So if you're them, you don't want him to coach because Lane Kiffin's priority at that point is to Louisiana State University, not to Ole Miss. So I completely agree with them. Right. So now Lane Kiffin's out. Charlie Wise, I believe their offensive coordinator is leaving.
The entire offensive staff and the GM went with him.
And so now Pete Golding, the defensive coordinator, has taken over as the permanent head coach. It is the Pete Golding, quote-unquote, era.
The one offensive coach that did not go with him is the former Giants head coach, Joe Judge.
He's staying on, I believe, as the offensive coordinator for them. And so he's staying down in Ole Miss. He's going to run the offense. Pete Golding, of course, will run the defense as the head coach now, and still assuming that role. But Kiffin, just absurd. And it was it turned into such a show
because
over the weekend.
Everybody made it a show.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do I think Lane Kiffin's a really good coach? I do. Mm-hmm. Right? But here's the other part. What has he won? I mean, he's had short stints, and I defended him about, hey, look, he's been fired twice. He got fired by the Raiders, got fired by USC. He left Tennessee in a lurch, right? I think Florida Atlantic, didn't he win?
He won with Florida Atlantic.
But did he win a championship? I think he did. He won a championship game, I think, right?
I believe.
Let me move that up for you there.
I'm going to find on out for you real quick. Florida Atlantic. Let's find.
Did he win a Sun Belt title or something like that?
Resigned after a blowout win against University of Alabama at Birmingham and before FAU's Boca Raton Bowl against SMU. Kiffin left with a record of 26-13, 2 first-place finishes in Conference USA.
Okay, Conference USA.
They were conference championship-wise. They won in 2017 and in 2019, which is the season he left in. So they won 2 of his 3 years. They won the conference championship.
Right. And look, but in reality, what has he won? Has he won a division title? No. Mm-hmm. Has he won a conference championship outside of what he did at Florida Atlantic? No. Mm-hmm. Has he ever won a college football playoff game? No. Mm-hmm. He's never been in the college football playoff. And guess what? He's not going to the college football playoff this time either. Okay? So, what has he won? Right?
He won the anger of fans.
Okay.
I believe all of the SEC now despises him. I know Tennessee does.
I mean,
he's fairly confident Ole Miss now does.
He won 2 conference. Okay, he won the division, and he won the championship in Conference USA twice.
Yes.
Okay. But, yeah. I don't know what to say about it.
Yeah.
I think he's an excellent coach.
Mm-hmm.
And you can go and plead all you want, but you have chosen to leave us, and you have chosen to be employed by somebody else. You made that choice. We did what we could to keep you, and you chose to take another job. Start your other job. I don't get this. They should let him coach. What? This is not sentimentality. He picked someplace else.
He's leaving this place. It's not like he's like leaving and he's got like a 2-month gap where he's slowly transitioning over. No, you take a new job and like this, you're gone. Like that's how it works.
Okay, that's how life works.
Yeah.
You okay? Hey, guess what? You know what? I'd really like to do my show the rest of the year, but I picked another radio station to go to. Well, guess what? The radio station's going to tell me to pound sand and start the other job. Okay? That's life. Okay? I'm going to stay on here at the insurance agency for the rest of the year. No, you're not. You picked to go to,
the fact that
to Jason Lord Insurance. Okay, great.
Yeah. Tulane letting John Summerall coach is a anomaly. Because
that's slightly different.
But my general point is, like, that doesn't happen all the time.
But slightly different. Here's the reason why. John Summerall is getting, everybody knows. Well, we're Tulane. Well, no, you understand. If you take that job over there, it's a step up in your life. That's a little bit different. Okay? That's like being the coordinator or the assistant coach, right? and you're going to get a head coaching job. Well, in this, there are stages and levels, right? Okay, you can take that job over there. We'll let you coach because we know for you, you're moving up. I got it. This is a lateral move.
For Lane Kiffin.
It's a lateral move anywhere in Power 4. It's a lateral move.
Yeah.
Okay? That's what he's doing. He picked them over you. Now, I think the reasons why, I think if you really sit down and look at it, he has had to constantly build Ole Miss through the portal over and over and over and over and over again. At LSU, you can recruit.
Yep.
And at LSU, you can have more of a stable roster where you can be more of a developmental program with high-level talent and then be selective in the transfer portal when you need it. Gee, I need Joe Burrow. Okay, well, we got Joe Burrow.
But you already have at that point developed Justin Jefferson and
Jamar Chase and people like that, okay? Right, to go with, You can do that. You can be more selective in the portal instead of having to exhaust yourself in the portal all the time. So I think that's part of it. And, let's face it, 3 different coaches in the last 25 years have won national titles at LSU. Nick Saban, Les Miles, and Ed Orgeron.
Yeah.
Right? So all that I understand. But this whole thing, I'm watching this weekend. I'm sitting in the hotel room like, he should be allowed to coach. Like, I'm sitting there like going, no, he quit. Look, you quit. You quit your job. You picked another job. You quit.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm done here. You quit. You weren't fired. You voluntarily left. Okay.
And the coaching search, how it's gone right now, the coaches who were hired, because yesterday was a crazy day.
Right.
Going through it real quick.
But very quickly, though. Okay. I think it's a good question to ask, and it's a fair question. There are championship games this weekend. There are coaches coaching in championship games this weekend. Okay. Does that play a role? Right? You don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, because when you don't know, it's at least a legitimate, fair question to ask, right? And see how it plays out.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that it's like, okay.
The coaches who've already been hired, we'll go through them real fast. LSU, of course, hired Lane Kiffin. Florida got John Summerall.
Yep.
Auburn hired Alex Golesh from USF.
Yep.
Ole Miss, Pete Golding. Virginia Tech, of course, James Franklin. Arkansas hired Memphis's Ryan Silverfield.
Yep.
Oklahoma State already had Eric Morris from North Texas, who's in the American Athletic Conference Championship against Tulane.
Yep.
Stanford hired Davita Pritchard. Oregon State got Jamarcus Shepard. Colorado State, Jim Mora. Kent State, Mark Carney.
Who got Jim Mora?
Colorado State hired Jim Mora. It was a very funky one. It was a week or so ago.
UConn's an independent. That's tough.
Yeah.
That's hard.
And
he's done a great job there.
He has. The other schools are currently without a head coach. Of course, Penn State. Kentucky fired Mark Stoops this morning. Michigan State let go of Jonathan Smith last night.
It looks but Pat Fitzgerald's
the rumored guy.
You're right.
Coastal Carolina let go of Tim Beck. Of course, Tulane needs a replacement for John Summerall. USF needs one for Alex Golesh. Memphis for Ryan Silverfield. UConn for Jim Mora. North Texas for Eric Morris. Cal let go of Justin Wilcox earlier this season, so they need a coach. UCLA still needs a coach after letting go of Deshaun Foster. Oregon State after letting go of Trent Bray. UAB after letting go of Trent Dilfer. And then loop in on this. The rumored guys out there, you mentioned Pat Fitzgerald for Michigan State. The rumors also for UCLA, it's Bob Chesney from James Madison, who then, of course, means that job opens up because he's a coach as well. So a lot of craziness going on.
But nobody knows.
No one knows. It's coaching craziness.
There are people trying to fit people in there, and like nobody's talking right now.
Also, the point is musical chairs, because let's say, just basic example, let's say that in this case, you are Eric Morris, you're North Texas, you leave for Oklahoma State. Well, all of a sudden, the North Texas job opens up.
Right.
But let's say North Texas then goes and hires. Let's say it was earlier season. They get James Franklin. No, then okay. Then the Penn State job opens up, and then the Penn State goes get someone, and it's just a domino effect because there's you're going to try and hire the best talent, and sometimes the best talent is a division below you, or in this case, the group of 5 going to a Power 4, and It's a domino effect up and down. It means people move everywhere. So it's going to be a little chaotic, especially right now before the signing window on Wednesday and then before the window on January 2nd.
The only bugaboo in all this is Wednesday. Wednesday through Friday.
Yes.
Okay? Other than that, okay? You got, other than that, that's the only thing in the timing of this that is an issue. Okay? And that's, again, fit means something. It's got to be somebody that Pat feels is a fit for his vision, a fit with him. It fits also that when Neely Ben Battuti or Michael Wade Smith or whomever, and they take a look at it, they need to be comfortable with the fit as well. Fit means a lot. And look, mystery brings with it gnashing of teeth. Mystery brings with it, right, criticism. Mystery brings with it, incorrect rumors. Mystery, all over and over and over again, right? And there are people who think they're insiders. They're not insiders. Right? It just gets. I'll never forget. This is I don't know how many years ago this was. Maybe 3 years ago. I think it was like 3 years ago. Somebody informed me about something about they had read something online. I think it was they told me it was a message board thing from somebody who's allegedly an insider about they weren't comfortable with me. And then talking about me. I think he's going to be able to survive. Right. And my son told me this. I said, what? I said, what are you talking about? I said, I signed a contract 4 months ago. I said, nobody announced it.
Yeah.
Right? I said, and the conversation started out like this, exactly like this. Hey, my contract's up. It is? Oh. They laughed and they said, well, this will be a really tough negotiation. Ha, ha, ha. It was like we laughed. Knocked it out, done. Right? This insider said, well, I said, Dan, I signed a contract 4 months ago. I said, obviously, the insider has no idea what they're talking about.
No.
None. So I'm talking about from a personal point of view.
It gets back to you.
It got back to me. And I sat back with, really? Right? The exact conversation went, hey, by the way, I said, I don't think you guys may realize or not my contract is up at, I explained when it was going to be up. They went, really? Yeah. I said, that was exactly, they laughed and said, oh, this will be a hard one. And it took because you got to be on board with like when they're free, you're free, things like that. Boom, we knocked the thing out. Boom, eventually, right? And some insider, right? And my son says, Dad, is everything okay? I said, yeah. What are you talking about? I said, yeah, it's fine. I said, I signed it 4 months ago. He's like, I said, but this is an insider.
I want to wrap up.
The insider has no idea. And these people are like relying on this insider to tell them what's going on with this search.
Yeah. To wrap up with, we'll discuss the entire slate of championship games tomorrow. We'll go through the whole thing. I do want to wrap up with one point, though, which we've already kind of discussed.
But again, I wanted to make sure I made that point about insiders.
You did.
Because, right? Because I don't pay attention to what I have enough people saying things to me. All right. And I'm like, just be cool, be calm. It'll be fine. Just let him do his job.
I would like to bring.
I mean, people wanted to know the Tuesday after who it was going to be. Okay. Tuesday after, James was like, who's going to be? Right. And so because it's gone longer and other people have made decisions, okay, just let him do his job. It's going to be fine.
I would like to bring up one final point here before we wrap on up. We'll get into the rest of it tomorrow. We'll get into the entire college championship slate.
Saints didn't do well.
Saints didn't do well. Charlie Smythe made a field goal. It's a positive. But there was some outrage over Duke making the ACC championship game.
Yeah.
And I think this is dumb. Duke made it because of how tiebreakers work and how conferences work. Yeah. It's how it's worked. And people were like, well, we want Miami in it. Miami didn't win and what if? That's how it works. If you don't win, you're not getting in. Yeah. And Duke is 7-5, but they won their conference games and they won all of the
they're 1-3 in the non-con.
Yeah. But the point is, Duke is in it.
See, every conference has a different tiebreaker. Yeah. And I want to say the American, as an example, I think after head-to-head in the American, you know what the second tiebreaker is? Who's ranked higher in the college football playoff poll?
It's fair.
I'm saying.
But it's a tiebreaker.
But that's not the tiebreaker in the ACC. Right? And the Big Ten has a different tiebreaker. I mean, everything is they're all different. There's nothing. Well, under the rules, what rule did Duke break?
Yeah, none.
Right? Now, Miami and Notre Dame, I want to talk about this tomorrow.
Oh, boy.
Okay? They played.
Yeah.
To the people of South Bend. Okay? I have 4 words. You did not win. Okay? Your competition should not be with them for the spot. It should be with other people for the spot.
It should be with Vanderbilt, for instance, with the spot.
Right. Where it's more like, okay, you play. But that was the opening game of the season. Well, if they played now, no.
You lost.
You had your shot. Did not win. And I have nothing against Notre Dame. Zero. I mean, if I had a preference of just on how I feel about programs, Miami versus Notre Dame, I'd rather see Notre Dame in. But I'm just saying why bother playing the games? Right? You play the games, okay? Well, when you do if they were to play now, well, you're not playing now. You played back then, and guess what? You didn't win the game, okay? You had your shot. You didn't win. Well, the game was, and it was high. No. You played. Did you win? No. Okay. Tiebreaker over with, you're out. Right? I mean, why bother playing? Now, the Duke thing, if they were to win, the ACC is not going to get an automatic bid.
Nope.
If Tulane and James Madison both win this weekend. Because they would end up being 4 and 5 among the highest ranked conference champions.
Or even North Texas. I think if they win as well, they're high enough.
Or whatever.
It basically depends on if Duke wins whatever American championship and if James Madison can beat Troy.
The ACC would not have its champion in it because they would be number 6 on the poll. And doesn't mean Miami couldn't get in as an at-large.
But that's the thing. They rely on Miami to get in as an at-large, and that's it.
It's bizarre.
And someone did ask about the coaching hire. We've already talked about the coaching stuff. We've gone through that. You can tune on in again earlier in the show. Look, we'll discuss when coaching news does happen for Penn State. We'll discuss it here on the show. For the moment,
everybody's overreacting. Yeah. Again, the reason everybody's overreacting is Wednesday. Okay? Wednesday, it's letter of intent day. Look, okay, other than that date,
you got time.
Okay? You still have a buffer here to work with. At some point, though, you've got to have somebody in place, has a staff in place, is starting to look at the recruits that are still available for the late signing period, looking at heavy into the transfer portal, retaining as many players as possible, making decisions on current staff. Okay, you're going to have something in there. But as of, why not today? It's because they're thinking about Wednesday. And I understand that. Because, I talked to Kenny, and Kenny told me, he says, if we were, this is like a week ago, we talked about, he says, we could probably salvage 8 to 12. If not, then you're punting on some stuff on Wednesday. But that's right now the only day, because, it's the only day right now that is critical on Penn State, because they got the whole week off. Penn State's not practicing this week at all. Terry had told them that on Thursday and reiterated it Friday. That no matter what, they were getting the week off. He says, after we win, that's what his quote was, right? He told them that. So they won, and, they are not practicing this week.
Thank you for listening to Sports Talk with Steve Jones, a 7 Mountain Media production. Come back at 11 every weekday for analysis of the latest happening in the sports landscape. From college football to European soccer, Steve and Kyle cover it all on Sports Talk with Steve Jones.